Hello everybody. Just to let you know, I am not live. This is going to be super confusing. This looks like a live, but I'm recording this. Unfortunately, we have had a go around with our internet and our internet is down. This video will probably take about 4 to 5 hours to upload, just like the mug rug video took yesterday. We have a call in to our internet provider. We are not really happy, but we have no other choices except to go with them. They're coming out Monday. Hopefully they will get us back up and running. We shall see. This is not our first go around with this internet provider, but it is what it is. So I'm going to make the best of it. We're going to pretend like I'm live, and all your comments, instead of in the live chat, will go down in the comments section. So please just say hello and thanks for watching. We're going to go through the motions though like we are live. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Today we are doing the little baby turtle. Isn't it so cute? I love this turtle. Next week, God willing, we're going to be live, but if not, I'm just going to start recording videos because I just am at my wit's end with technology. So let's take a look at the last baby block we are doing. I think it's the last one, the baby giraffe. But before that, let me back up. Just like normal, I'm getting ahead of myself. So if you were to take this turtle block and just repeat it several times to make a quilt, this is what your quilt would look like. Isn't that super cute? I think he's so cute. I also think if you reduced the size of this baby turtle and made it into a quilt label on the back of a quilt, it would be super cute as well. So that's the turtle block repeated several times to make a quilt. What if you took the baby turtle and you mixed it in with the other blocks that we've done so far? This is what the quilt would look like. And so in this example, I just repeated the baby feet block twice to get 9 blocks, right? Isn't that so cute? All right, and next week, this is the baby giraffe block, y'all. This is the one we're doing next week. I think it's equally as cute, although I'm a little partial to the turtle. What do you think? Don't you think that's super cute? So that, I believe, will finish up our 9 blocks for baby applique. And then I'm going to transition into doing some other types of applique, maybe fall related. We'll see. I still have a week to plan that out. So there's your examples for this week, and we're going to just jump right into taking a look at this PDF. It is a 1-page PDF. All of your templates have been mirror imaged, so if you're using a fusible, you're ready to start tracing from this side. If you're using freezer paper, you're going to want to use a light pad or a window to trace from the back side, right? If you want your turtle facing the same direction as the one I'm making today. Now I've already cut all my pieces out, so we're ready to come over here to the mat, right? Let me turn on my iron, get it warming up. Sorry, I am so tired. We've been around and around with internet, resetting internet, all kinds of stuff with the internet today, just hoping that it would work, but it's not gonna cooperate with us today. So here's my background. Just like all the other blocks, y'all, I have starched and pressed my background fabric. I drew out my 10.5-inch square just to give me a reference, and my background fabric is bigger than 10.5 by 10.5, and I'll trim that up later. So I have my silicone mat. That's been working pretty well. Where are all my pieces? They're over here. So here are all of my pieces. If you would like the cutting file for this baby turtle, there is a link down in the description box below, okay? So I'm just going to start pulling out all of my pieces, and we're going to arrange them right here on my silicone mat. So we know the top of the shell overlaps most of the pieces today, except for like the neck and the head, I believe. So let's just go ahead and start arranging. We're going to overlap that piece just by a smidgen, like that. Well, you know what? There's a diagram right there that we can go by. So let me take a look at that. That's gonna come about just like that. And then we have 3 little leg parts, right? And so this longest one is gonna come right about there. The A is gonna come out like that. And the D is going to come all the way back here like that. I always like to look at my screen. I think that looks pretty cute, right? And then the neck is going to start down here in the bottom of the shell like that and come up. And the head is going to overlap the top of the neck like that. And I always look at my screen because I get a better view of it than me looking down at it. And I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just fuse these pieces, and then we will attach the face parts, okay? I just don't want anything to shift and move. And it just takes a second just to put a little heat on that. So then we have 2 eyes. They're gonna go like this and like that. And then the centers of the eye are gonna come in right at the bottom. Like that. And then we have a smile for the turtle. And then a little nose part. Super adorable. Let me just straighten up his smile just a little bit. There we go. I think that looks super cute. I'm going to just go ahead and hit that with a little bit of heat. And all we're doing at this point is taking all of these pieces and making them into one applique that we're going to place right in the center of our block. All right, we're going to give that a second just to cool off. Are y'all watching this hurricane that's out at sea? It's going to be big. Ooh, I think you can see it much better if I hold it up like that. I think this one is just super adorable. Now, I do think that the light green is not really going to contrast much with my background fabric until I do the stitching. And then that's just going to set it right off, right? So we can bring this right in there. And that's still going to take a second to cool off. I like for it to be completely cool before I peel it off. So we're just going to chit chat for a second. I miss reading all of your comments. It feels weird. I keep looking over to see what you're saying, but no one's there. It's so weird. I do think it's been a long week, y'all. It's been a long week. Last week, after I talked to you and Harlan was gone, right? He was in Vermont. And I was talking about how I was watching over the chickens. Hunting dogs came into our yard and got our rooster. Thank God we were out there, and my dad body tackled one of the dogs and just sat on the dog with his hands around his neck. I mean, it was crazy. And then I caught the other one And my mom held it while I called this lady, right? And she came and got our dogs. Anyway, we have a enclosure that's been delivered yesterday. We are in the middle of putting it together. So now our flock will only free roam or free range while we are out there with them. And other than that, they're going to be locked up. And it has like a top. We feel really bad because they love just walking around the yard, but they will still be able to do that when we're out there. Hunting dogs got loose. It could have been so bad had we not been out there. Okay, so once it's cooled off, isn't that so cute? We're just going to place this right in the middle of our block. Again, I feel like the baby turtle is a little small for this block. When I was designing it, it looked so much bigger. I feel like you could enlarge this PDF, maybe even double it to fill in this block. Otherwise, though, keeping it this size gives you lots of creative space to do some fun quilting, right? I'm going to go ahead and just fuse that right in place. And then that's going to take a second to cool off. So while that's cooling off, I have some brown thread in both my top and bobbin, yes, of my sewing machine, right? And I'm just going to continue to use the brown thread on in this block and next week because I think it's super cute with the fabrics that I've chosen, and it's going to all coordinate with the other blocks that I've made. And one day this will be an adorable quilt, right? While this is cooling off, I don't know if you saw the video I posted yesterday. Isn't this adorable? We took a poll, or I took a poll and asked if you liked all of the like double and triple stitching around the flowers. So just to give you an update, it's like 99.9% of everyone likes it after I went back in with more stitching versus a single line of quilting. So just in case you were wondering. Okay, I think that's cool enough. We're going to come over to the sewing machine. It's so weird not seeing you over there in the comments section. And we're at night too, so my background looks a lot different, right? All right, here we are. And I think today I'm going to do a zigzag stitch. You want to do that? Let's do a zigzag stitch today. So just like normal, I'm going to go through and adjust my settings, and I'll let you know what they are here in just a second. I know I don't want it to be a huge zigzag stitch. I got it right on the first time. Okay, so there's my zigzag stitch. And the settings I'm using is 2.0 with the width and a 0.8 with the length. And I think it's loose enough that I won't have to add any stabilizer underneath. If you go with anything much denser than that, you might want to add, you know, some kind of support to your fabric. So let's take a look at these layers, right? We have the bottom of the shell tucks up under everything. So we're going to start there. And then we have the feet. We'll move to those next. And then we'll do the top part of the shell. And then we'll do the neck and the head. Does that sound like a plan? We're gonna just start right here. I am going to cut my thread and move instead of just jumping, because when I do that, it ties a knot at the back, where if I were just to jump from one place to another, I'd need to do some back stitching to lock everything in. And I think it looks a little bit cleaner not doing that. So I'll be cutting the thread and moving anytime I move around with this particular stitch. So there we go. Where are my little clips? Ah, here we go. I'm just gonna trim threads as we're moving along, but already you can tell that that one line of stitching has really defined that lighter fabric. Before, it almost blended in, right? And I know right now y'all are probably looking for me on YouTube. I am so sorry. I've made today super confusing. I changed the time twice, and then I just took it down altogether. I don't want to think that I can't do lives anymore, but it has been super frustrating. Just because of my internet connection, you know? It's just so unreliable. And I thought, you know, like last week, I had the red light of death during most of that live. I thought, well, maybe this week scheduling it later in the day, I'd avoid that, but no. The crazy part is our download speeds are great. It's the upload speeds. I think worst case scenario is that for a while I pre-record videos, right? The good news is Zoom does not require as much upload speed as streaming on YouTube does. So I've still been able to Zoom, which is fantastic, because I think I would be like devastated if I could not do that. This stitch is a lot faster, don't you think? All right, we are right at the base of the turtle, and instead of breaking thread, you know what I'm gonna do? Nope. I'm gonna break the thread. If I just continued here, I'd have a little gap there. So we're gonna break the thread. I'm gonna start right there at the base of the neck and just go right on up to there. That's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, after last Friday and the dogs coming in and getting after Rudy, and we have renamed him Rocky Balboa because he is a fighter. I like to think he was being a hero and distracting the dogs away from all of the rest of the chickens. It was so scary. Look how fast this little turtle stitches out, right? And so most definitely adding that little stitch outline separates that lighter green fabric from the background. All right, I'm going to start right here at the base of, or at the base of the chin, right? But I'm going to stitch his neck all the way around. And then once we get right here, I'm just going to continually go right around the head. Let me cut this little stitch right there. Cut that thread. All right, we are at the very edge of the fabric for this turtle's head. So I'm just going to pivot everything around and just go right around that. have been working on a scarecrow design, but I'm just not in love with it yet. It seems like, I don't know, I've had sort of, well, things have been really busy. And that doesn't help when you're trying to be creative, right? So I've been working on this scarecrow design for about 2 weeks now, and I'm still like not even close to liking it yet. All right, so there are all of the big parts of applique stitched down. Now I do think I need to make the zigzag stitch thinner to go around the eyes and the nose and the mouth, right? So let me bring back my scrap and we'll go back to the drawing board. I do feel like we have, you know, the background fabric, and then we have the fabric for the head of the turtle, which might help support the stitches a little bit more to make this stitch a little bit smaller and maybe not have to use any kind of interfacing on the back. So, let's see. Okay, I don't know that you're going to see it because I got lots of little stitching lines on there. It's right in here and it is pretty small. I'm going to tell you my settings and try this out on a scrap before you use it on your block, okay, and see what you think. A 1.4 for the length, for the width, and a 0.7 for the length. So it's pretty small. I'm going to first start by stitching the outside white part of the eye, and then without breaking thread, I'm going to continue and do the inner part of the eye, okay? Just because of the shape of the eye, it's really curvy, right? So I'm only taking a couple of stitches before I rotate things around. That's going to give me a nice curve up at the top. And the way that I overlapped my pieces, I'm actually stitching both the brown part of the eye and the bottom of the white part of the eye as I'm working my way around. So I won't have to go over this part again. Just the top and the side part of the eye down to the bottom. And these stitches are going to blend in from what you can see because the thread is the same color. So there's one eye, see that? I'm going to just repeat the process for this second one. Let's see, I'm going to start right down here on this one. And now I'm just going to continue to stitch that eye all the way over until it meets that side right there. Then we have the tiny little nose to stitch. I'm going to use the same zigzag stitch. So there's its nose. And now I'm going to move down to the mouth. And we have a little bit of a tight little V right in at least this side of the mouth, don't we? So I think this stitch is small enough to stay in that V. We shall see. You notice when I get to these points, I'm going to stop and pivot so that I take one stitch in the applique before moving, right? Harlan says I say right a lot. Do you think I say right too much? We just did make that little tiny V right there. And there we go. Super adorable. Let's just come back over to the cutting mat and give this block a final press, which means I have to warm up my iron again. Although it's still pretty flat, see that? I do think the turtle needs to be a little bit bigger. I think I don't have a ruler. Oh, hold on a second. While my iron is warming up, let's just measure this turtle. Dun, 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 dun. 6.5 inches wide. And about 6.25 inches tall. You know what? I think it would look really fantastic on an 8-inch quilt block, just the way it is. See that? That's 8 inches. He would fill up an 8-inch quilt block. It looks good on a 10-inch, but I think it should be bigger. But if you wanted to go with an 8-inch quilt block, it would fill it in really nicely. I don't have to press this much. It is pretty flat, even with using the smaller zigzag stitch in the face. And there we go. So all I have left to do is to trim this up, square it up, and add it to my stack of blocks. And I think it's just adorable, right? So as we finish up, just to remind you that we have the baby giraffe next week. And yeah, that should be a lot of fun. That's a lot of circles. The stitch down is kind of giving me the vibes, the same kind of vibes as the baby feet. That's a lot of circles, right? If you look at that and you think, heck no. You know, there's always the idea of using a permanent fusible like Heat and Bond in the red package, and then you don't have to stitch all those things down, right? Yeah, that's a lot of little circles. So hopefully my internet is up and running next week. We shall see. I imagine this video, because of the length of it, is gonna take a hot minute to upload. It might not even come up this evening, Friday. It might be tomorrow before it's done. But I sure did miss y'all. And I kept wanting to say a huge thank you to my moderators. But thank y'all. Even though you weren't here, I appreciate you all. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I don't know what the weather's gonna do. Please keep an eye on it. Yeah, and until I see you next week, bye everybody. I'm so sorry about my internet. There's not much I can do about it. I'm gonna just stop stressing about it, right? No sense in stressing over things we cannot control. And besides the internet, this house, we love it. We love the laid-back atmosphere and the laid-back life, except for hunting dogs coming in our yard and hawks, and internet, right? I'm gonna stop sweating the internet because it is what it is until Verizon comes down this way. Please, Verizon, if any of you work for Verizon or have family members that work for Verizon, can you tell them we just need internet down at this end? Matthews, Virginia, thank you. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week, okay? Bye.